Okay, boys and girls, so we are working on 7-8 today. And this is relating decimals to fractions. So I'm making the connection that decimals are equal to fractions. So I might, instead of saying decimals to fractions, I might actually say decimals equal fractions. They're the exact same thing. Decimals are just another way of writing a fraction. I want to show you what that looks like. If I gave you 1, and that represents 1 whole, and then I gave you 1/10 of it, that means I have only 1/10 of this whole. So I need to create this into tenths. Give me just 1 second. Fifths. Now tenths. And so I only have one of those pieces. 1/10 is synonymous or the same with the decimal 0.1. It means the exact same thing. It means 1/10. So it would be, actually, you know what? It would be the exact same thing. 0.10 would be the same exact thing. It's only part of a whole. It's smaller than 1. So this 1 is greater than both 1/10 and 0.1, which is the same thing as 1/10. Okay? So we're going to relate fractions together today. And I want to explain about decimals. Decimals, when written, have place value. So let's review what place value is. Place value is the value of the number that you have. So if I gave you the number 1,576, each of those numbers has a place. This one is in the, call it out if you know it, it's in the thousands place. Okay, 5 has a place. What's the place for that? Call it out if you know it. It's in the hundreds place. 7 also has a place. Call it out if you know it. You're right, it's in the tens place. And 6 has a place as well. It's in the ones place. Okay, that should be a review. We talked about this at the beginning of the year, and I know you've talked about it in 3rd grade. Place value is so important. Then I have this. That is my decimal point. That is how we show decimals. After this point on, these numbers are smaller than 1. We talked about that over here. Remember, fractions or decimals are smaller than 1. So we put this decimal point to show that it's smaller than 1. So let's say I put this decimal point and I had the numbers 3, 2, 9 after. Well, each of these decimals have their own place and value too. This 3 is in the tenths place. We skip, there's nothing called once place, because if I had 1 as my denominator, that would be 1 whole. So we don't use ones. We skip to tenths. Then the next one would be hundredths. Hundredths. And the last one, right here, would be, I want you to figure out if you can think what it is. It would be the thousandths. And you spell it out, thousand, add a THS. These right here, this THS, is important. We use it in fractions. We call them 1/10 instead of 1/10. It's the THS. These represent that it is smaller than 1 whole at this point. So there is a place value. It's tenths hundreds, thousands. That will be really important today, and I'll explain it more later. But this is just a quick overview of what I need you to know about fractions or about decimals and fractions before we get started on the assignment today. Thanks for watching, guys.